It's a special edition. Is it the slow-mo edition of the dog?
It's the slow-mo edition, man. Okay, so the slow-mo edition was $5.99. It came with an Xbox One X. It came with the dial with all the accessories. And it also came with Xbox One branded tissue paper that had tissue paper wrapped in it with Xbox One written all over it.
What?
Wow, yo.
Dog. And then the price was actually dropped in price too, so it was like an Amazon discount. It was like $6.99 down to $5.99, and it was actually called the Xbox One Slow-Mo Edition.
Oh my god, that's
too much time in some people's hands that day, man.
Yeah, somebody had a lot of time with their hands that day.
Man, that was a great show.
Oh my god, was I on that show?
Man,
I don't think I was.
Yeah, they kept it going too, because there were people who were asking Aaron Greenberg about that Terry Crews version. Remember that beat?
Go look at if you want to see it. All you gotta do is go back about 2 weeks and Ryan Professional's tweets, because he tweeted it out to everybody.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So, well, hey everyone, we are back. Brap is back after a 2-week hiatus. It's great to be back. Had some. We had the 4th of July holiday. It kind of screwed things up for us. I don't celebrate 4th of July. I got some heat for that. I'm not gonna get into what or why I don't celebrate, because it'll get political. But I don't, for reasons. And then I was kind of under the. Finally got my voice back, so I can kind of, I couldn't really. I would have been a terrible host if I hosted like 2 weeks ago, because literally my voice was like in the garbage can. It was pretty bad.
You would sound like Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, like smoking crack. I mean, it was bad, man. It was really bad. So, but no, great to be back.
Okay. So yeah,
he's gone.
Back and
gaming. What'd you say, Slimmo?
Enrique, you keep dropping out, man.
Yeah, you keep dropping out, man. You
am I dropping out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you piecing out on us, man.
Hold on. All right, am I still dropping out? Am I still botting?
No, you weren't even really botting. You just did
right now. Yeah.
Am I okay now?
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah.
This is all Slow-Mo's fault, man. He's probably streaming like 4 different Netflix type channel thingies, or I don't know.
Oh no, man!
My internet does not affect your crappy internet, Enrique. That's not how the internet works. Okay.
I'm just gonna go.
Y'all ain't on the same hub network.
Yeah, we are. He's playing with the doll right now. He's got the doll hooked up to the Xbox.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we have a special guest though this evening. We have Gaming Forte. Gaming Forte is part of the. Are you part of the Scumcast officially? Because there's so many. I feel like there's so many people that are on that show.
There are so many people on that show, but yeah, I am officially a part of it. I'm just not there every week because I can't make it every week because of work. But yeah, man, that's a lit crew over there. Yeah,
Scumcast is a lot of fun. It's not for the weak, man. You gotta have thick skin to go in there. You go into the Lion's Den when you go to Scumcast.
Oh man. Mm-hmm. But no, man, I appreciate the invite. Definitely looking forward to this one.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And we may or may not roast Slow-Mo. When we last wrapped up the Brat podcast 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Slow-Mo's Xbox One doll that he went out and purchased. And Slow-Mo, how's that doll working out, man?
I did not buy an Xbox One doll. This stupid joke is not his head. This joke is like the old stripper that still won't let go of the pole. They got like saggy skin and stuff just flapping all around, and instead of turning dudes on, she's turning dudes off.
That's 8 a.m. shift.
Slow-Mo has an Xbox doll.
It's real funny how this conversation went from one coast to the other, and the conversation has changed all the way across the United States of America.
Eric said the 8 a.m. shift. She's on my breakfast shift.
If you're a stripper and they give you the 8 a.m. shift, you know it might be time to hang it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, girl, why don't you show up about 7:30 in the morning?
From 7:30 to 9:30.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to. We need you to warm up that pot of coffee for everyone.
Yeah, but nobody's there. Exactly.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, that is.
Man, why don't you come in and sweep up?
Hey, slow mo. Hey, your father said that.
Oh Lord.
I know not who you speak of. I don't know who this is.
Oh, man.
Hey, Gaming Forte, who is Slow Mo's father?
Oh man. Okay, so I will give him this much. Of all of her children, he is the most defiant one. He's the one that refused to take up the moniker of Luca being his father. He doesn't want to roll like that. I mean, I get him. He's a grown ass man, got a wife and kids, but you ain't gotta denounce your mom like that, man. She's like mom and dad.
That's what's so weird. And
he's the only one. He's the only one that is defiant, and she always has to put him in timeout.
Man, Luca's got like a cult going on with Skunk.
Man. Look, man, it's all fun and games. We keep it really fresh up in that Discord. I mean, Ricky, you've been in there. Sometimes it goes all the way left, and
sometimes that's like
sometimes
every other day.
Sometimes the conversation from Twitter spills over to the Discord. Sometimes the Discord spills over to Twitter. So, yeah, man, I'm shocked that he's stuck with it as long as he does.
I'll say this much: there's sometimes I hop in that Discord, and I'm like, "Ooh, I gotta go."
You don't want to. I don't want to get caught up in this.
No, I don't want to. I just not doing it. So, but nah, you know what? It's great to be back after a 2-week hiatus, and certainly missed shooting the shit with you guys and talking video games. But real quick, B Money, man, how have you been, man? You guys lost LeBron James. How's everything over in Ohio, man?
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Everything's good, man. I'm not a Cavs fan, so it don't really mean much to me. But it's good to see him. Go to LA, start a new legacy out there. I mean, LA's been one of the most storied brands in the NBA. So
I can't front though. It's weird seeing that jersey on him, man.
Yeah, it is
good in that jersey. I ain't gonna lie, but one thing I will ask you: how do you feel about them taking down? They didn't even wait for the man to even leave the state for a full week before they took down the witness shirt. I mean the
witness banner.
The banner off the side of the building. They had that. Well, Nike said we'll have it down in a week. The Cavs said no, we'll have it down in 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know. Like Brian comes with a lot of baggage, man. And the front office was kind of glad to see him go. I mean, it's just if they felt like it was time to move on, they felt like they lost their star point guard because of Brian. So, I mean, they in a total rebuild right now. So it's tough on them.
I mean, they got that ring. It was just like, I mean, you got a title now. I mean, your shtick is a little much.
And the funny thing about his stick is, if you didn't hear about the news, the man announced on Twitter that he said, "Hey, I haven't had a pizza party in a while," and tweeted it out to everybody. And I forget the name of the area in Los Angeles, making it seem like he was going to go there and go get pizza and meet people. And then thousands of people lined up at these different restaurants there, hoping to see him. And his wife takes a picture of him chilling in the pool. And sent the picture out literally like 45 minutes later. I was like, dude, this dude is the biggest troll I've ever seen.
Yo, there's like 50,000 people at one location, man.
Right.
Was it at Blaze Pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he should be brought on charges for that because he that's his he's a shareholder in that.
Yep.
Yeah, when they announced they gave away free pizzas between it was like 1 and 4, but it's the fact that he said, "Oh, I might show up at this certain one," and 50,000 people.
Hey, that's kind of crazy that he did that too, because it's like man, you like Savannah need that Maserati real quick. Let me go.
Wow.
And this
she needs a Thursday Maserati. Let me go ahead and boost these Blaze sales real quick.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm not going to feel bad about the fact that he's never going to another NBA Finals now.
I don't think.
But B hit on it though, man. B hit on it. Like, you know, LeBron comes with baggage, and people were like, you know, like, how come Pat Riley did that with the Heat? Because LeBron wants to be the show, and you're not going to come to Miami and be the show. Right? Like, you can come here, but you're not going to tell Pat Riley how it's going to be. And you know, some of the stories we heard, like, they were wild, and they were acting a fool. Like, he wanted like his people in the management office and this and this and that. It's like, yo, he just about.
When they would go on road trips, like, he would stay, like, especially when they went to like New York. You know what I mean? They go play the Knicks or whatever. He would stay like the extra day, like him and his entourage stay the extra day, and then like Pat Riley would leave him like the jet, and he would fly back on the jet. You know what I mean? With him and his squad, like, you know what I mean? He is the greatest player playing right now. So I mean, he kind of warrants some of that stuff, but you can't be that arrogant, man.
I thought you was going to say greatest player in the world. I was going to have a problem with you. you came up short of it, so you good with me. You got that Bulls hat on. You know who the greatest player is.
Oh, we already know.
That's my hometown, you know what I mean? So
I was going to say that's blasphemy. You didn't say that, man. Oh, Lord. Did he play for the Chicago Bulls?
Scottie Pippen.
Hey, go watch them Dr. J videos, and then go watch them Mike Jordan videos.
The only thing Dr. J got in common with Michael Jordan is the fact if you take 2, 3, and time them together, you get 6. That's it. Nothing else.
Oh, boy.
No, that Dr. J disrespect can't stand, man. Dr. J would have had it later.
MJ got a lot of his game from Dr. J, man. A lot of people don't know that.
Down to the gum chewing.
Yeah, he modeled his game a lot after Dr. J.
No, he did. He lived up to it.
But real talk, I think if Dr. J would have had it to where his career would have been a few years later, some of those discussions would have been a little bit different. He just didn't have the same exposure.
Right.
By the time he got the exposure, it was kind of late in his career.
Yep.
But that dude, when he used to play, what was like that, the Rucker and stuff like that.
Nasty.
They said people used to be sitting on top of the buildings in New York trying to just catch a glimpse. And stuff like that. So yeah. So people don't think about Dr. But Dr. was that man. He was that dude.
Yeah. All right, E. So how have you been, man? Because it's been 2 weeks, man. How's everything in South Florida, man?
Hot as hell, my dude. I sent that tweet out today.
Oh yeah, I saw that, man.
Is it 20 degrees down there, E?
No, man. It's like that's what I said. Like the thermometer says 86, but that's a damn lie.
It's like
it's hot.
105. Yeah.
Like it's angry hot.
Yeah.
But it's nice, man. It's nice. But just again, still having those rolling thunderstorms. A tornado kind of blew through the other day real quick.
Damn.
That's that humidity, man.
A random tornado just blew through this motherfucker.
I was thinking about coming down to Florida in August too, man. But that's like prime like hurricane season.
Yeah, it's already wilding out there too, man. Like they already had like a few tropical depressions or like a category 1 kind of hit. And Puerto Rico's still in the path of a lot of that stuff. And
Puerto Rico.
But no, the news down here, they put like a video up real quick of a neighborhood in Plantation, which is like right around the corner from where I'm at. And you could see like the funnel cloud build. And I felt some of it, like in my backyard, it knocked over like a bunch of plants. It came through like literally like 10 minutes.
Oh wow!
Then it was gone, and then the sun was back out. That's Florida, man.
Yeah, my brother told me that because he just moved to Vero Beach down there last year, and when he transferred jobs down there, and he told me, man, he's like, man, people give Michigan. I'm from Michigan. He said people give Michigan a hard time. He said living down here because he came down there right before they got hit by that last hurricane. Well, they got missed by the last hurricane.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, he was like, it rains every day. Like around 3-4 o'clock.
Yep.
He said, see people out here with umbrellas walking around when it's sunny as hell outside, and then all of a sudden it starts raining and people pull their umbrellas out for like 10 minutes.
It's crazy. And they hit about the same time every day. And the funny thing is, you can say like it's raining. What we're gonna do is like wait 20 minutes.
That's what he said. Literally wait 20 minutes.
Yeah. That's what it'll come through. It'd be like thunder and lightning, like you feel like you're about to get hit by it, and then 20 minutes later the sun's out like nothing happened. But there's leaves and puddles everywhere, branches down. It's like, what the hell?
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But other than that, man, I'm good, man. I'm happy to be back. I always like chopping it up with you guys. Happy Gaming Forte's joining us. So yeah.
All right, man, no doubt, man. Slow-mo.
Yo,
Mr. DMV.
Yep. Man, things been good. I've been playing a lot of games, and yeah, that's been about it. Really, I burned through a whole bunch of games. Not as many as Eric did, because when I checked the whole leadership board on Xbox, I was like, how he get 10,000 in a month? What? I'm like, I ain't catching up to that, but I was close. I was like at like 5 or 6 or something. But yeah, I'm currently playing Halo Wars 2 and Near Automata, but on PlayStation, and not on Xbox. I'm not double dipping on.
You want about that double dip life, huh?
Yeah, look, I might double dip on a game that's multiplayer, and it's I know people on both platforms that I can play with, but a single player game, nah, I'm not double dipping. I already bought that.
So what you trying to say? Because you trying to put me down because I double dipped?
No, I'm not. This is me personally. I'm not double dipping. I'm not. I don't talk about. You can do whatever you want with your wallet, and yes, Tipsy, I am on that Warframe. Absolutely, I stopped for like maybe about 3 or 4 months, but I'm getting back into it. I got a whole bunch of stuff I need to catch up on. But no, Forte, I'm not. I don't disparage anybody and their wallet. You can buy whatever you want. You can buy Warframe on like 5 different platforms. You can not Warframe, like whatever actual paid game. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Oh boy, kids are here. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Gotta go put them up.
Daddy, you left your doll out.
Dang.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Game 4 Day. So give us a little bit of background, man, in terms of like how long you've been gaming, what your first console was.
Atari 2600 was my first, and I came across it. This is when you didn't know that there was really a Santa Claus or not. So I came across walking up to our attic one day, and there was this big, giant black grocery bag sitting on the stairs. And I couldn't get past it, so I started moving it out the way, and I noticed that I was like, hey, there's like toys in these bags. So that's when I found out that my first system was a Atari 2600. And then it's been I skipped over GameCube, but it was NES, Genesis, like everybody else.
Yeah.
And then I skipped GameCube. I had a GameCube, but I kind of skipped over it for Dreamcast. And then after Dreamcast, it was PlayStation all the way up into basically Xbox. The original came out, and then I was all Xbox pretty much for regular Xbox 360. I didn't get a PS3 until 2009? So 2010. So 3 years after the PS3 came out, and then we are now, and I pretty much have everything. So I will be a longtime supporter of Microsoft because I am a huge Halo fan. Halo was the game that literally made me pick the system that I picked, because I was going to get Halo when it was exclusive to PC at one point. I actually went out and bought the video card, which was the Voodoo 5000 or Voodoo 500 card, which was the one that they said that was going to work really good with that game. So I actually went out, bought that graphics card, had the picture of Halo on the back of it, put it in my PC. Come finding out that E3, Microsoft bought Bungie and said it's coming to the Xbox platform. And I was like, I just spent all this money on the graphics card, and now I got to buy an Xbox because I'm just a huge sci-fi fan. So that that whole first-person shooters style with the sci-fi, that really resonated with me. Huge RTS fan, like pretty much all RTSs I played, like StarCraft and
Age of Empires.
Yeah, Age of Empire. Even the Star Wars Automata games that were on PC, I love those games. I really just came up on stuff like that, and then just carried over to consoles. And then when Xbox Live came out in 2001, it was over. I was like, I didn't even know the world was as big as it was until that happened. And then just been doing this ever since, man.
Nice,
man. So you've been gaming probably about as long as everyone here on besides Slow-Mo, because I think Slow-Mo's a little bit younger.
I was gonna say, man, he came up through the wood panel days.
Yeah, the wood panel.
Wait a minute, Enrique. How young do you think I am?
Let's see. Lucas 25. So you're.
Oh man, here you go.
You're 8.
Look, I've been gaming since NES. That was my first system. Like when I was, I think it may have been 7 or 8. Yeah, around that age. But I remember the NES coming out and Super Mario Brothers with Duck Hunt as the added game, man. I remember playing that at my god brother's house, and I was just like, when I came home, I told my mom, look, that's all I want for Christmas. That's all I want for Christmas. So from like then on, I think I pretty much had every single system except the Neo Geo. Like I couldn't convince my mom to spend that kind of money. It just wasn't happening. But yeah, I've had every system. PlayStation. I've had every single PlayStation, every single Xbox. Well, I can't say every single system because Nintendo disappointed me around the N64 era, and I just stopped until
like that.
Yeah, man, I was done.
Man, that was like
look. Back then, I was a huge Final Fantasy fan. Huge Final Fantasy fan. And Final Fantasy was always on Nintendo.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was disappointed in Nintendo in their stance of we're going to go cartridge, not because it's the best thing for gamers, but we're going to do it because we got these factories and, you know, it's a money thing. And it's just like, I'm like, but CDs are a better format for games at this point. What are you doing? And that's what made Square take Final Fantasy over the PlayStation. I was just like, you know what? I mean, look, I enjoyed my N64. All those wrestling games, those are the best wrestling games that have ever came out.
Yes,
There's not been a wrestling game that's better than that. Smash Brothers, loved it. But after that, I was just like, yeah, I can't rock with y'all like that no more. I was on PlayStation, man. And then when the Xbox came out, I was like, you know, I think there's only room for 2 platforms at a time in my life. So I had to get the boot, man. But
oh man,
yeah, I mean, like, but overall, I don't really care about the platform so much as where the game's at. And you got the games, I'm there with the controller in hand.
You know, that's a good question. I always ask people this. When it comes to what was the first system where you really felt like you made a decision on that platform because of the game? It didn't just get it because it was a new system.
Oh man, that's
first. You said the first time.
Yeah, the first time you looked at a system was like, I want this system, because you know back then systems used to come out so close to each other. It was like you either just got both of them or you picked one because a certain game was on that system that you wanted to have. And what was the first system that you did that for?
Yeah, I think I pretty much already said with Final Fantasy 7 on PlayStation. That was it.
Yeah, for me it would have been probably the NES.
Yeah.
Over the Master System at the time.
Yeah, I remember NES was Contra, stuff like that. And the Mega Man games, I loved all those.
But for me, it was Mario, Zelda, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the NES was like my first, like my chosen one, like because I didn't get the Master System. My cousin actually had a Master System. I don't know why she didn't even play video games when she had it.
So especially with the NES, because everybody here pretty much had one.
Yeah.
How did we? I always wondered it was no internet. Well, there was internet, but it's nowhere near as what it is now.
Right.
How did we find out? Like, how did it get so widespread to actually get a cartridge to work in the NES? How did we all know that? Oh, you can blow in it, or how did people know that they could slightly put the cartridge in and snap it into place and it would play? Like,
how did that
Everyone
happen? Knew those tricks.
It was
word of mouth, man.
Word of mouth, man.
That was viral. It was like viral without like social media. It's like somehow it just made it across the nation. Even though they said it later on, they go, "It's actually not the best way. It's the connector. You're actually messing up the connectors even more by throwing moisture in there." But hey, we didn't care.
No,
that trick.
Your boys coming over.
You're right.
Yeah. What about the trick when you took one and flipped it like reverse and pushed on top of the other?
Yep.
That's how you, and then you give it a little tap on the top. Like, okay, we get business.
I used to blow in my cartridges so much, like every time before we.
Yep.
Every time before you put it in, like even if it wasn't, it was working fine. Like I would just blow on it,
and then some like the dry, like the damp alcohol and the Q-tip swab, just like anything. You just like try anything, man, just to get it to work. You know. So yeah, that was crazy. And you're right, but and also like the Konami code, like how they just made it like somehow you found out. You don't even remember the source. Like
no, dude, I don't remember how I found that code out. Was it in a magazine one day or something?
It was in a magazine.
You know what it was? But then it went word of mouth.
That code was in a magazine. I don't remember if it was Nintendo Power, but it was in one of the gaming magazines.
Yeah, I think it might have been in the Game Pro, man. It might have been Nintendo Power or Game Pro.
Game Pro. Yeah, I had a subscription to Game Pro.
That's one thing I miss is those magazines and getting those free demo discs.
Oh, those magazines. Oh yeah, those magazines were great.
You used to get mad when you guys say, "Hey, nothing in here to play."
And then I remember people used to see people just go in and rip the demo disc out of the back of the magazines and walk out of a store. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Saw Slow-Mo doing that one day.
Oh.
We probably did.
But you know what's taking the place of that now. Like I've seen this happen. And people are pretty stupid for trying to do this. Which you go in and buy like Xbox like Live credit or PSN credit or whatever. And I've actually brought a couple home. Not even like you just pick it up, put it buy whatever. And like either the thing is torn off or the thing is already scratched off, and it's like you dummies. Like it does not work until it goes through the register.
I wonder how much money Microsoft lost. Remember when they initially did that? They put them inside the little plastic little holders, and the code were live in. I wonder how much money they lost.
Man, had to lose a grip, man. So, but how disappointed these thieves are to get home trying to put that code in. It's like,
and then try to bring it to the store. It's like, man, the code didn't work. Where's your receipt? I lost it.
Hey guys, in the live chat real quick, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Daniel B says, I grew up in Germany and we knew the same tricks. So this thing was global.
Word of mouth is real, man.
You just knew, man. It did not matter. It could be a kid that you didn't even know. Like you go to his house, he's pushing it in,
Yeah.
Every kid knew that, man.
And everybody used to blow in everybody's car. When I sit here and I think about it now, I'm like, man, we were some sick ass kids back then, man. I just can imagine like someone blowing into my cartridge and just smelling their breath all over the chip.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Got the flu. Got the flu.
Why does my Contra cartridge smell like halitosis? Oh my goodness! Hey, real quick, guys, I want to make a quick commentary about Major Nelson. Mr. Major Nelson, can you quit with the white gloves already? I saw the unveiling of their new controller, which, by the way, guys, actually reminds me a lot of the Miami Dolphins a little bit in that color scheme.
It does have that color scheme.
It does.
Yeah, the Miami Vice style.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Miami. But what can he just stop with the white gloves already? He's
embraced it now, man, because he tweets about it, getting the white gloves.
Oh my god!
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh! Like it's like he's intentionally trolling us all with that.
I'm like, Larry, I'm sorry. It's like, look, you're not presenting the Stanley Cup. You're not presenting the World Cup trophy. This isn't the Lombardi Trophy. No one cares if your fingerprints get on it. If you eat wings before you present the controller, no one cares if there's sauce on the controller. I mean,
eat wings.
Larry could be back there slapping his lips together and sucking on his fingers from eating wings and then present the controller for all I care. But the white gloves, it's got to stop. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired. Am I the only one annoyed by the white gloves?
I'm annoyed by Major Nelson, period. Like, why is he still here? I don't, and no offense to him, but I think his time has passed. I think the newer generation of gamers, like they don't know nothing about him. 2, they just think like it's like that old uncle that's trying to
uncle, man.
and at the family cookout, he's all like trying to hang out with the young kids and say all the hip slang. No, Nelson. Go over there with the old people. Okay, you don't know what you're talking about.
Check out that new controller. It's dope.
Exactly. Like get someone else to replace whatever he does. And I mean, really all he does is bring the cringe to inside Xbox right now.
I really don't want him to disappear because I think he's still very well known in the community. I just think he needs to be behind the camera now. He doesn't need to be in front of it.
Yeah. And from what I've heard, and I've never met the man personally, but from what I've heard of his demeanor when he meets fans and stuff, like maybe it is time that he's not like in front of the camera, an actual like face to everything, because it just seems like he's really not trying to deal with people at all. Like once the camera's off, it's just like, okay, my part. Don't touch me. What are you doing? Don't touch me. I'm out of here. Just like, hey, look, if that's, that's not a good look. So maybe transition him into a different role.
I mean, because he's technically the community manager. So, and the thing is, you really don't need, like, who's Sony community manager? I mean, that's the one thing I will give him. He's very, for somebody that is just part of he's like the community manager of a system, of a platform. A lot of people know who he is. So I just think he needs to be more personable. I actually met him once when I was in New York to go actually get a 360. They were doing a live event there, and I was able to actually meet him. And he's very standoffish a little bit. Like you really don't want.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, you really can't get that close to him. I mean, unless
really.
No, he's not really a big people person. Like, think about it.
Let me ask you.
Go look at the. Like, yeah, he doesn't. He's not.
Go look at the end of the Xbox. The last stream they just did. Go look at the inside Xbox. Even when they were all standing, when he put the little sign behind him, you can see in his face how when people were standing around him, he just seems uncomfortable. Even that's with people that he works with. So just imagine how he is with people that he doesn't know.
But how can you be gaming? How can you be community manager and not be comfortable around people?
Well,
it's kind of like it's what you it's part of your job, man. You have to kind of do that.
I think he's got dirt on someone.
You know what? You know who are I think the best community managers in the gaming industry work for Digital Extremes. Megan and Rebecca, they're awesome. They're like the best. I mean, like there was this one time, what's her name? Rebecca Ford. Yeah. She didn't do this on purpose, but she kind of dissed the fan that wanted like an autograph or something.
Did she get fired?
No, she didn't get fired. But she kind of like she realized after the fact that I may have been a little rude to that guy. So she actually sent out a tweet, was like, hey, the guy, and she described everything that he wore. He was like, sorry, I didn't realize what you were trying to do. Hit me up. I'm going to give you an autograph, Warframe, whatever. And it's like, wow, like that's next level, community work and especially for a game like Warframe, where it's a free game. They make money off of people, one, being generous in the fact that, hey, I don't have to, I could grind for this. I don't have to pay for that. And then 2, they're an independent studio, doesn't have a major publisher behind them feeding them money. They really survive off their community, loving what they do and providing their community with the kind of games they're looking for. Bungie could, take a page out of there, but anyway, so it's amazing to see community managers who are that good, and they, even if they make a mistake, it's not that you made a mistake, it's how you handled it after the fact that makes them so good.
That's my point. I mean, like they are people, they're engaged with the community. He's not. I mean, Gabe Forte said it, like he went to a launch event of a new console, and he's standoffish. Like this guy, he must have dirt on someone at Microsoft.
It's so funny because even go look at Rand, go to his Twitter, look at the picture that he has posted when he hit the 1 million at E3. You see how Phil Spencer and Ybarra are standing right next to Rand.
Yeah.
And Phil Spencer is completely off to the side. Not Phil Spencer. Nelson is standing off to the side, leaning into the camera.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that. And I really didn't even think about it lately until I saw Inside Xbox yesterday. And I saw how uncomfortable he looked just standing around the people he works with every day. It was weird.
Maybe he has like a phobia or something.
Maybe it is.
No, I've actually heard that he doesn't like he doesn't like shaking hands and this and that, you know, and some people have that, you know what I'm saying? But, you can tell like
you can't be in marketing and selling a product and be a community manager and not want to shake people's hands.
Yeah. It seems like maybe like a germaphobe or something. Like
that's like
controller.
That's like being an adult entertainer and being scared of germs.
Hey, B, when you really saw it come out, it had to be like Comic-Con, right?
Yeah.
You could tell he was just like an old man, like I'm sick of these young bastards.
Hold on, B. What happened, B?
Remember Comic-Con when he was showing he was with all the stars?
Oh, he was hot.
Oh, dude.
He was mad.
It came back to that next segment after the very first segment. He wasn't even there.
Yeah.
He was in the back yelling at somebody.
Yeah, he put on his white gloves and was pouting.
I will say that I know a lot of people from the Iron Lords, when they were down at E3, they did say that it seemed like he had a little bit more pep to his step at E3 this year. He was like a lot more interactive with the guests and everything.
Doing blow.
Yeah, it might have been like some type of come down from up top. You never know.
He was banging lines before he got out there. There with his white gloves. And
when I was out at E3 with the Iron Lords, we actually got Major Nelson to talk to us when we were at the Fan Fest, because they kind of did it at the rooftop of the mall or whatever. We were just all up there chilling, so he actually came over, and me and King and Cognito were up there, and he actually came over and talked to us. So I mean,
let me put it like this, B. Like, does he get the same security detail like Phil and Shuhei and all those guys get?
Nah, he was out there roaming around solo.
So maybe
that's why that dude. Wouldn't you be standoffish if you had to deal if you had the idea or the feeling of meeting the people on Twitter?
Oh man,
who come at you nonstop? You know what I'm saying? I'd be standoffish too.
Yeah.
You know, is this? I'll be looking like, is this? I'm about it 69, about to come in like.
Oh,
Major.
Everybody should have above their head.
I sent you a tweet 2 weeks ago. You didn't respond. He like,
And Game before Jeff Funny would that be, man? He's like, I know that dude. Like, got his avatar over his head.
Yep, have your avatar over your head. Everybody has an avatar above their head. Can't hide from it.
That crazy guy on Twitter.
Oh man,
that's too funny.
It didn't have like a drop down menu for all the different names that you had to make because you got banned so many times.
Extra security.
Like,
oh my goodness, that's too funny.
Two-step verification.
Scorpion Master XOXO.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Hey, speaking of Warframe, so Warframe is making its way to Switch. You guys think this is big news for a big win for the Nintendo Switch?
No.
Depends on how it runs.
Yeah. And considering the same dev team that did.
Let Gaming Forte get his. He's our guest, man.
I'm sorry.
We're going to have to call Luca.
Oh Lord, don't do that. Well, I am a huge Warframe fan. I have over 1,300 hours in that game on PC. And that game is freaking amazing. And I just believe it going to the Switch. Yeah, it's going to be good for the people that never played it. And I mean, and I guess when you look at it that way, it's actually going to do well over there.
Yeah.
But I just can't do games on the Switch that are third party because they just don't run well. It's like if I'm going to play that experience like that, I'll play on Xbox 360, I'm not 360, but Xbox One or PS4, you know, I'm not going to play it on the Switch. And, you know, I got too many other games that I can, you know, play in like leisure time passing as I'm playing on my Switch. And Warframe's not the type of game that you can literally just jump into for 15, 20 minutes and do one or two things. That game, I literally put 6, 7, 8 hours in a day for like a good 9 months on that game to get where I was in that game, because it's a grind. If you don't want to pay money, you're gonna put some time in. I mean, it's one of the best games when it comes to like the reward versus investment. Now, I did pay money into that game because I'm one of the elder. I'm like a grandmaster in that game, and I put like almost $400 into that game. But that's over 7 years of playing it,
and you don't have to do that.
And you don't have to do it. It's just that the reason that game can do as well as it does, and the reason they can fund the game off of their community, is because of the people that make that game. They make it so appealing to you just from a developer versus customer relationship or player relationship that you don't mind paying money to get stuff in that game, because you always are part of the conversation of everything that's being done in that game. When they bring out a new Warframe, you have input into it. They come to the community and ask, hey, this is what we're thinking about. This is what we're going to do. What do you guys think about this? So it gets people super invested in it, and then you have the people that are willing to go out and grind it, but then you got the people that don't have a lot of time, and they give you like little founder packages that you can buy those Warframe outright. And it's so cool. And the people that haven't played it on Switch, you're going to enjoy it. It's probably going to be a great game to play on the go. Me and third-party games on the Switch, they just do not perform well, and that's the only reason I'm not looking forward to that game on there, because I feel like the game could be way better than that if they actually took the time to bring out proper hardware to support it.
Yeah, Slimmo, what were you saying, man? Before,
yeah, I was just going to say, like, I think since the same dev team that ported Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch is doing Warframe, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's really the dev team's fault. It's the hardware. The hardware just can't really do those kind of games. And considering the Warframe is also a multiplayer game, man, I think it's probably going to be the worst performing version of the game. And if for me, if I had a Switch, I would still probably get it if there was some kind of cross progression of my account to it from Xbox or PC, because I've built up so much with like for me personally on Xbox, I have like 860 hours, about a dozen Warframes. I'm a master rank level 11, not that high, but I only got started like a year ago. But that's enough time invested in the game where, I mean, I've also played it on PlayStation, but barely, because I can't move my stuff over. I don't really want to start over. It's because like, as Forte said, the grind is real. It's way more grindy than, say, a Destiny or Division. So I don't want to start over on a different platform. Just me personally. Like if it had cross progression and I had to switch, yeah, I'm definitely going to do it, because then I can just, pick it up and maybe do a couple of like void fissure missions and get some, try to get some stuff, try to work towards getting the parts I need for a Warframe I'm trying to get, or work on a couple of missions. So if I'm trying to make it through the entire star map, stuff like that. Starting over, nah, I just can't see it for that kind of game.
It looks like they're doing what they did with console. This is what I did. They made it so you can migrate your account over. You can't do crossplay, but you can take your account and make a digital copy of it one time to a different system. So you'll still have two separate games, but at least you'll have the stuff that you started with on whatever the platform you have the most on. I know I did that when I went from PC to the Xbox platform, and all my stuff transferred over, except for like your your currency that you built up in the game, but all your Warframes, all of your weapons and everything, accessories, all that stuff crosses over. And it looks like the Switch version, they haven't announced the date for it, but the Switch is going to get account migration in the near future.
Okay, well that's cool. Yeah, for something like that, I would. Yeah, so that would make the transition a little easier. I could see people jumping on for that. And like I said, Warframe's a great game. It's a great game. It didn't start out great from what I heard, but where it is now, and if you watch TennoCon, oh my god, like the stuff they're adding, oh man, space battles, I can't wait.
I think that's why I didn't really pay much attention to it initially, because I heard it didn't run really well, and it was kind of whatever. So with everything else that was kind of out and going on, I just kind of ignored it. But being the fact that it was it was announced for Switch and it's so in the conversation right now, and I've seen people like you, Slow Mo, and a few other people talking about how deep it actually is for a free-to-play game, and everything that it's doing right for a free-to-play game versus something like a Destiny or something like that. It actually interested me, to go look into it now, because I just kind of literally forgot about it. Because up to this, with the Switch kind of getting that on there, I think that kind of put it back in people's minds. They probably saw an influx of new players.
I'm just happy to see this game get the love that it should have always gotten. People have been down on this game, even back in 2013 when they got announced. It was on PlayStation first for the first year. Then it came to Xbox in 2014. People been like, "Oh, what's Warframe?" And some people got into it and played it, but the game isn't nowhere near what it is now. They're the only ones I know that give you a free update every 6 months to a year. Well, it's twice every year. Every 6 months you get a major update to the game that literally changes everything, and it's free. So it's a completely different game. Right. This game from 2013 to what it is now, it doesn't even play the same. If you were a person that played in 2013 and haven't played till now, you would have to go in and look at build guides for the game all over again. It's almost everything is different.
Yeah.
So why is it these free-to-play games like Warframe or Fortnite are doing all these updates, and fans just can't get enough because they're giving all these updates and they're supporting it and this and that, but then you get like Destiny or PUBG and you people just complaining. For a game that you're sinking actual dough into, buying copies and all this other stuff. You can spend money on Warframe and Fortnite, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, digital streams, they did all this themselves. They didn't have a publisher over top of them kind of telling them what they can and cannot do, or kind of forcing them into situations where they gotta create stuff like the Eververse. So Destiny's got Activision, and Activision, we all know how Activision is and how their games will always turn out to be. It's always going to be some stuff that's overpriced. We're rarely ever going to get free updates or free DLC that. The sound of free DLC probably makes Activision. It's like nails on the chalkboard for Activision, management. So it's Epic again. Epic's a big company. They've been around for a long time, and they don't need the publisher to put their games out. So if they want to do a free game, knowing just our game is good enough to get people in, and we'll get them hooked. And then we'll give them cosmetics, and the cosmetics are cool enough that people will, pay us money for it.
Yeah, right.
It works. It's a format that works, and I think a lot of other companies should kind of pick it up. I mean, you look at Warframe, but the thing is, you gotta do it right.
Well, this is the thing with so two things I say about Epic and Digital Extremes. Epic hit lightning in the bottle with Fortnite. I mean, everybody should know that. The biggest thing is that game is just different. It has a gameplay hook to it that's easy to get master. It's easy to play, but hard to master. The building mechanics in that game is something that top tier players can do, and everybody strives to get better at. And the fact that it's a free game, people, it makes it a real easy barrier to entry to get into the game, so anybody can try it. And then everybody feels like they can be the next Ninja, so that's why that game does as well as it does.
Yeah.
When it comes to Warframe, a lot of people don't know this, but that game was built, like they self-published, and that game was built off the back of Dark Sector because that was their first game. And
really? I didn't know that.
a lot of the stuff, a lot of the stuff you see in Warframe is literally concepts from Dark Sector. Everything,
yeah, even where the player moves.
Yeah, the glaive.
And that's why it looks so familiar. Okay,
the glaive that you used in Dark Sector. That's the actual main weapon that you got when you first started playing Warframe. So that game has a lot of substance in Warframe, and the community really appreciates that. And they used that game to fund this game. And then they just made a free-to-play model that was fair, and they listened to their community about what they wanted and what they didn't want, and they haven't reneged on that one bit.
Wow. So they should, sound like they should get a lot more props than they get and a lot more accolades than they get.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they really should. I mean, we joke around that Bungie should take lessons from them, but all joking aside, they really should.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done a hell of a job supporting that and really getting the community involved. I mean, I have friends that have been playing Warframe for like 7 years. I dabbled in it like probably back in 2014 for a little bit. I didn't put as many hours as you guys did, but a lot of my friends that were playing it they're still playing it, just love the kind of support and input that the devs get from the community. So yeah, I can't believe it's funny because when I heard about this news, I was like, wow, Warframe's still it's still a thing, like, because it's been a thing for a long time. I mean, it seems like it's gotten better from what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this game didn't have a single player campaign in it 2 years ago.
Yep.
Now they built a fully fleshed out single player with different missions and different chapters and scenarios that build out the character of your Tano
and great lore
and lore that rivals pretty much most games you play in any sphere in less than 2 years.
So basically, Bungie should go down to.
Why do I have King David? I have King David in my head right now. Like, who did that for you?
If people didn't know, the YouTube channel No Clip, they recently did a 2-part documentary on digital extremes and Warframe that's really good. If anyone is interested in just like knowing more about the company and how everything got started, it's really good. Yeah, I'm sorry, Eric.
I'll have to check that out. What's it called? No clips.
Yeah,
no clip.
Yeah, No Clip.
On YouTube.
Check that out.
Yeah. Oh, I have let me tell you how great their customer service is. I have the perfect story for this. So back when I was a Warframe noob and I didn't understand how to get like a Warframe slot to slot my slot my Warframes into, I purchased the wrong thing. And so once I figured it out, I'm like, oh, I didn't spend my platinum on this wrong thing. So I actually didn't know what to do. So I called up customer service. Not really called them up, but I got online and I got with their customer service and I explained the whole situation, and I actually showed them screenshots from my Xbox of like the mistake I made, and they were cool about it. They were like, so like, okay, here's the platinum. We see you made the purchase with the platinum. What do you want to do? And I told them what I was trying to do. I was trying to buy a new slot for my new Warframe, and they said, oh, okay. I took care of that for you. Anything else? I was like, wow, thank you. Like I didn't know what to say. I was just like, what? That's
you were ready for a fight.
Yeah, I was ready to be like, look, man, if y'all really want to be for the gamers, you know, I have to go through the whole spiel. It was just like, no, that's cool, that's fine. It's no problem. You know, you have any other issues like this? Hey, you know, also they even pointed me to some YouTube channels to help me learn. I was like, what? What is? You can't do that. You can't be this good at this. What, man? I tell you, that was.
What's the catch?
After that, I became a fan of that company. They're
right.
awesome people.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a mess.
You
rarely hear about that nowadays, man.
Yeah, that kind of level of customer service. I mean, if this was any, I'm not gonna keep picking on Bungie and Activision. I'll just say any Ubisoft, Bethesda, Sony. If I would have said, "Hey, look, I purchased the wrong thing. Can you? Hello?" They'd be like,
that's a you problem.
We'll purchase it again. Purchase the right thing again. Spend more money.
Go make about the right thing.
Make good decisions.
buddy.
They would have just clowned me and that been about it. But
hey, Slow-Mo, your mom's in the live chat.
Who was this?
Your mom.
I don't know who you speak. I do see the Asher Luca. Hey, what's up?
Yes, your mom, your father.
No.
I love how she comes in the chat and says "F you, Enrique." What's up, Luca? It's good to see you in the chat. Yeah, so that's cool that it's. I do think it's cool that it's coming to Switch. So, real quick, because I don't typically bring up other podcasts. But I was listening to Lucas's father. I was listening to a podcast. I'm not going to mention the name of the podcast, and I don't know. I was a little. What'd you guys say? I don't think I was maybe just not distraught. That's not the right word, but
perturbed.
Maybe stumped, surprised.
Stumped. Surprised.
Yeah.
That's going around a lot this week.
Yeah, and the whole premise of
you got a little shock and awe.
Yeah, a little shock and awe. I guess and I want to bring this up to you guys because Lucas is disgusted. I was just this idea of there not being any hardware, another PlayStation 5 because it's not showing up in Sony's R&D budget, which is public, or this idea that Sony is somehow streaming, or maybe they're going to go to a streaming platform or something to that effect, or even though B Money has mentioned B Money, are the dev kits out for PS5?
For a fact.
Okay, and are they going to be used for maybe benchmarking power for future maybe streaming type services?
No, they're not.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I hear these things and I think to myself, look, and not that I'm a big industry insider, but when you've done this long enough and you've had industry guests on and you talk to enough people, you hear things, right? And sometimes when people are bullshitting, when something's kind of doesn't just add up, but when B Money says, hey, they're out there, and I've heard that from other people too, and it's actually going to be a thing, a new hardware, new PS5. I don't understand the idea of speculating in a way that suggests that maybe this might be something else outside of just a traditional console. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys pretty much? Can we all agree that there will be another PS5 console?
I can announce that there's going to be new systems within the next 2 to 3 years. I don't know which one's going to be first. I just know there will be another Xbox and there will be another PlayStation, just like there will be a revision for the Nintendo Switch.
Exactly, and I expect all three of those to happen in the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same.
This is true. Yes.
Yeah. So
actually, I'm almost certain Sony will be dropping their system first, even if Microsoft comes in the same year, which I doubt. I think Sony will release first, but regardless, this whole no PS5 thing, we have to, and I will say this to everyone watching right now. To anyone who's
you saw the same video that I saw.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'm going to anyone watching right now, to anyone who's going to watch this later on, anything that we say, that we speak definitively on as if it's a fact, check up on us. Just go ahead and do the research yourself. You need to do that for the sheer just for the sheer fact of making sure that we are on our toes, that we on our P's and Q's, that we're not just out here just saying some BS. Because on that thing, whatever video, whatever it was
nonsense.
Just 30 minutes of complete BS. I could barely finish watching it because I was like,
you were distraught. You were like, what is this? What is going on?
What is happening? It was just ridiculous. And so I don't understand how anyone could be so misinformed and claim to be you know, an insider of anything. Why are you doing an E3 show? Why are you doing the E3 show a month after E3?
Well, I don't know.
Every other podcast has already talked E3 to death, and you're not just now getting to it. Really?
Right.
Well, I don't necessarily know if it was it. I don't think it was a post or E3 show. Was it? I thought it was more or less revolves around whether or not the PS5 is going to come out.
But everything that they were talking about was information that came out around E3, except for the one thing that they took information they took from Sony, which they completely blew out of proportion and mischaracterized. But everything else was E3 stuff that we learned at E3. It was just, what are you doing?
Yeah, I just don't. Again, I'm not going to name the podcast. We don't do that here. We don't want to, call
them out.
No, no, I don't. No, I don't want to do it because it just out of respect for the privacy of that or whatever of that.
Privacy, they went.
Well, I mean, not privacy, but I don't want people going over there start.
Out on YouTube, dog.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. I don't want people to go over there and start trolling them. You know what I mean?
You don't want no beef.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want the people to start to troll. But I kept thinking about what B Money had told me, about the dev kits being out, and I'm like, oh, man, maybe some people just aren't in the know. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
No, check this out. They tried to say that because Sony has 13 first-party studios, and we didn't see at E3 games from 9 of them, that therefore, because Sony in the past has shown us so much, even just did straight announcements with no trailers before, those 9 studios must not be doing anything.
If I remember correctly, didn't Sony come out and say in a press release that they're winding down production on a PS4 with their first party studios to start concentrating on something different?
Yes,
exactly.
That's what came from the mouth of Sony, and
they've said that they're doubling down on their first party content.
Yeah. So what are they making first party content for if it's not for another system?
Yeah, even without Sony having to literally tell people this, just by having common sense, I would assume, with common sense alone, I would assume if I don't see those games from those studios, that doesn't mean they're not working on games. That means they're working on next gen games. Who's going to show a game when you haven't even announced the platform yet? The platform, then you show the games.
Well, think about it. Sony had 13 studios at the beginning of this generation, and we didn't know about 7 of the studios until the last 2 years. We didn't know what Sony Ben was doing with Days Gone. We just found out what Sucker Punch was doing with Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. So Death Stranding is not a first party studio. We didn't know we knew what we knew what Naughty Dog was doing with Uncharted, but we didn't know Last of Us was literally another game they were making right behind that. So there was a lot of different developers out there. We didn't know what Molecule was doing with Dreams. We didn't know anything, and they're going to keep a lot of stuff close to the vest because they know next generation. They don't want to start the generation off like they did with the PS3, even knowing Killzone Shadowfall was a decent game. and Infinite Second Son launching in that launch window. Those were all pretty decent games. It was a very lackluster lineup, and they don't want to start the next generation with that. And I think they're going to come out swinging in 2019 at E3 when they finally unveil or talk about the PS5.
So you think it's coming next year?
We're on the same wavelength, my brother.
I don't know.
Wavelength.
That's the thing. I don't know if it's going to come out next year, but I know they're going to. This is the thing. They can't go into next E3. What are they going to talk about? I mean, by that time, two of their games will already be released. I know Days Gone will already be out. And what's the other game? Well, Ghost of Tsushima didn't have a date. Last of Us didn't have a date. What was the other game they showed?
Spider-Man, but that's coming out.
And that's going to be already out.
Yeah.
So what are they going to talk about at E3?
Well,
you just got to eliminate certain things.
This is why I think they mentioned it at PSX this year. I think this is why their E3 was so retarded and set up the way that it was.
Yeah,
and
it was
they kind of just basically just said, like, we're done. PS4 is done. This is what you're gonna get. This last couple of years of PS4, these are the major big games, and the show just ended abruptly. Like, I don't know what the hell they were doing at E3, but I think the reason that they did that is because at PSX they'll probably at least acknowledge that they're working on new hardware, and then either do it early next year, unveil it, or do it at E3.
Yeah, they'll probably do what they did. They'll do what they did with the PS3, PS4. They'll do it in February.
Yeah.
Because what they usually do is they like to try to get that news out right before the physical year is for them in March. So they do it in February so they can get a push to the stock, a little boost to the stock going into the next year. And they already know that, hey, we already know what's coming out in the fall of that year. Mm-hmm. If you get all the way to E3 and you don't hear anything about a PS5, you won't see it till 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, guys. So this video that Slim and I both watched, they were speculating based on quotes from PlayStation boss John Codera, who basically said, "Well," and he doesn't use the word PS5. He says the PS4 has entered the final stage of its life cycle, and that Sony will spend the next 3 years preparing for the future. And so I think that this video, they're taking that quote and saying, well, what then that means that we're not going to see any kind of new console or whatever it is device from Sony for 3 years, and that maybe a PS5 isn't in development. Is that kind of what you got from that video, Slow-Mo? Kind of what I just said, or did you interpret something different?
I interpreted it slightly different. It seemed to me like they were insinuating that Sony wasn't going to do another traditional console at all. They even started to kind of throw some speculation in there about cloud, about having a device that, and it was just, I'm looking at kind of like, what? Where are you getting that from? And then they throw some they tried to say like that maybe there was something what happened with Google as well, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Where are you getting this information from? So, it just seemed to me like they didn't think a PS5 was coming anytime soon.
Yeah, because they kept going back to this quote that Codera said that basically Codera also said during the meeting that the period covering now through March 2021 will be a time when PlayStation will crouch down once to stand taller in the future. And so I think that's where maybe like the streaming speculation came into play.
Well,
if I heard that quote, I would just kind of say like, okay, so there's not going to be much coming for PS4 because we're holding it all back for PS5. The crouch down once to stand up taller just seems to me like we're slowing the number of games that are coming out exclusively for our current platform so that we could have more for you to dig into at launch of the new one.
Right.
When did this video come out?
This week, I think, actually.
So it came out this week. So knowing that, and from just listening to, because I didn't watch the video, so knowing that and just listening to the conversation, it sounds like they're just reaching and they're digging for information from Sony. Right now, Microsoft is the only system company that came out and said, this is what we're doing. Everybody knows that there is another Xbox in development. They know that already. Sony hasn't said anything other than, hey, production on the PS4 is winding down. We're doubling down on our first-party titles, and we're looking towards the future. That's all they basically said. So it sounds like they're trying to take their words and spin them in a certain way to try to get Sony to come out and actually say, we're actually still making hardware. They're trying to force the narrative versus letting Sony actually just naturally bring it out. That's what I took from that. Mm. Because anybody that thinks that it's not coming, you're crazy. I was thinking about a future of it. Like, I know digital distribution is coming. We all know that's going to be here probably within the next 10 to 15 years. It may be sooner. You never know. But I'm trying to think of a future where you walk into a store and you're buying a system that's basically either a streaming system or has no disk drive in it whatsoever. And do we all think that the next Xbox is going to have a disk drive in it?
Yeah.
I mean, yes. It's going to have one.
Yeah, it's got to.
So if the next Xbox has a disk drive in it and Sony's doesn't, which system do you think is going to sell more?
The Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, just because the world's not ready to switch over to a full digital future. So I'm just thinking...
Console gamers are very reluctant to change, by the way.
Exactly. So I'm looking at it. If I take 2 plus 2, I'm saying that shit equals 4, and Sony's coming out with a PS5.
Yeah, I just don't see them. And that's their bread and butter, their hardware and the PlayStation brand. And I just don't see them, especially them going into a full-on streaming type app. I mean, they're not there yet. I mean, we're not there yet. The industry's not there yet. With bandwidth is still a barrier to get next gen type of experiences without using hardware. I mean, we're not there yet.
How is PlayStation Now doing on PC? Because that's a really good barometer right there, because you're talking about people with PCs that are way more powerful than any of these consoles can probably have. And how is it doing on that platform where you can already stream PlayStation Now games?
Well, we already know PS Now isn't doing good because Sony isn't bragging about it. The only stuff when something isn't doing good when you don't hear anything from Sony about it at all. When stuff's doing great, they are bragging about their sales. They'll never shut up about it. But with PS Now, the Vita, it's pulling teeth to get them to say anything at all. And when they do finally say something, it isn't very good. So I'm fairly certain the PS Now isn't doing well, which is also why they're trying to add the download feature now, which they should have had from the very start. They need to work on the price. The price is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but they also need to fix the features on it too. Like, even on PC, you can't control the frame rate. You know what I mean? It still runs at the 30 frames or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So like, there's no advantage to even playing those games on PC. So until they rework all the behind the scenes stuff and make that platform more appealing, like it won't ever be successful.
Yeah. And you just think about it for a second. So PS Now hasn't done well. Why would they double down on their money maker and go away from what worked for them for this gen? They slam dunk destroyed their competition this gen. Why would they go away for that to double down on something that didn't work?
I'm going to chalk this video up to just being July and
nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about. Try to drive some traffic.
But at the same time, it's just like he's going to make common sense tells you like someone's going to pivot that hard. Like, you're just going to make stuff up, and so what are you going to do later on? Be like, no, we were just playing.
No, a lot of people get on Microsoft about the whole services platform, and I mean, rightfully so. We missed out on a lot of probably good exclusives during this generation because Microsoft's pocketbook was real tight for most of it. But I really think that Sony pretty much shutting down PlayStation View their TV service, not shutting it down, but losing channels left and right. PlayStation Now not doing as good as it's being advertised to be doing it, but all of these services that Microsoft are literally sticking behind, they're not letting those services die. They're going to become part of a staple of this system that everybody's going to expect to be there. And people on PlayStation, love it or not, they bought their system to play games. That's the first thing they'll tell you. We bought our system to play games, not for features and stuff. But the more and more time that goes past that these features become more prominent and people on Xbox get used to having them, and Sony just keeps going down this mindset that, hey, we just want it to be about games. We don't want all these extra features on our system. Sooner or later, those features are going to like stick out like a sore thumb, just like Xbox Live did versus PSN. And that's why they made, the change to actually charge for it in the end. So it's the narrative is going to change sooner or later. It just depends on how long it takes to get there.
Sony's always been like a late adopter to the things that Microsoft does in the services arena that works well. Like last gen, they were like, why would we charge you for that? They're charging you to get online. We don't charge for that. This gen, they're charging for it. It's things like that's why I anticipate with PS5, it's going to be backwards compatible to the PS4. Because they're going to realize that, that even when Microsoft didn't have the games exclusive, and not even just that, just didn't have any kind of relationship with Japan to get games that just should have never been exclusive on the PlayStation to begin with, ended up being exclusive because Japan didn't see any, Japanese devs didn't see any reason to put those games on the Xbox. And but despite all that, they really had a great feature in backwards compatibility that their engineers worked on very well. The devs didn't have to put not one single minute of time into it. They did it all themselves. All they needed was the approval to put those games back out with higher resolutions and allow people to go back and play those games again. Sony, I almost guarantee Sony's going to pick up on that. They may not do it the way Microsoft did it, but I don't think they're going to go any further back than just PS4. But I do think it will be there for PS5.
Something tells me that PS5 is not going to have backwards compatibility.
Why is that?
It's just something tells me it just is. I mean, I don't have anything basing that off. It's just for some strange reason, it just feels like Sony wants to have this narrative be that, well, if they're going to lose the power crown to Xbox, at least the PlayStation 5 will be able to play. The games will be developed for that system and only for that system. And I'm just thinking if they have backwards compatibility with PS4, wouldn't the games be able to go back from PS5 games be able to play on PS4 just like they are on Xbox? At a certain point, like the PlayStation, I would think that the PS4 Pro will become the baseline system that you will be able to still kind of daisy chain and bring it to the future with the PS5, and those two will share game titles.
It all depends on
forward compatibility. Then that's what you're talking about.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because I don't see them having backwards compatibility without having forward compatibility on at least that system. In the initial run. But I mean, like I said, I don't have any basis for that. It's just for some strange reason, I don't think they're going to do forward compatibility. So I just don't see them doing backwards either, because they already talked about it. Why do people want to play older games? And Sony's been really hard to stick to their lines when it comes to things that they believe in, like this whole crossplay thing. And when they say different things like that, it makes me feel like, dude, they may not do this. And a lot of people might be a little upset that they're going to lose 90% of their library.
But bro, Forza, they did the same thing last gen about paying for PSN.
Yeah,
Sony will tell you, they will act like it's the worst idea in the world until they do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, here's the thing. Oh, B, you had something to say.
Well, I was just gonna say the thing that we have to think about going into next gen is if they're going to change the disc format. So if they go dual layer on the disc format for the next gen, then you can't be backward and forward compatible, at least as far as the PlayStation is concerned.
Right.
Like we all know that Xbox has said that, you know, the X, or, you know, their platform is going to be backward and forward compatible, but it all depends on how PlayStation handles that. Because you got to think about it. Like, if you just look at these like PCs, which they basically are with the x86 architecture, you know what I mean? It's just like upgrading a PC. You know what I mean? So when the next consoles come out, just like you upgrade the graphics card, put a new CPU in there, those games still should run, you know what I mean, regardless of when they came out, as long as
and Nate said x86 continue architecture makes no sense not to have it. I think it's rumored that it will be.
Yeah, it's rumored that it will.
It will be. It will be, because they're running with AMD again. So
true, that is true. They are running with.
Well, isn't
this time, probably?
Yeah, isn't the rumor that AMD built a custom chip for them for the PS5? Isn't that kind of what the rumor was?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that Microsoft did. You know what I mean? They take basically like a Ryzen chip, and then they kind of customize it for their platform. That's the same thing that we'll see on the next Xbox as well. Yeah. So,
but you know, I'll tell you what, and I've said this before, and it will continue to be this for me. I've very rarely, I've always get all the systems, but I'm very rarely a day one adopter. And that's typically, if I'm not done with what I'm currently playing, then I'm not getting it. And as far as the next Xbox is concerned, I don't think I need that yet, because I have a One X, and I just don't feel like it's going to be that big of a jump that I'm gonna need to upgrade. And I have a PS4 Slim, so I am interested in getting a PS5. But if I'm not finished with my backlog of games and it's not backwards compatible, I'm gonna wait. I will finish my games. I will finish playing The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. I will finish those games first. When I'm done with all the other games that on my PlayStation 4 I still ain't finished yet, then I'll pick it up. But if it's backwards compatible, that will be one of the few times day one I'm there to pick up the PS5 and upgrade.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'll be in the same boat.
Yeah.
And the one thing I kind of base it on, you know, outside of the architecture, is just the fact that Sony's competitive and petty.
Yeah, they are. And
don't ever put it past them.
They're the most unpredictable, man.
And they believe in it, and their developers believe in the console war.
Oh yeah, they said that this week, didn't they?
Yep, sure did.
Frontline soldiers.
Frontline soldiers. We are the front line. Yeah,
all
they
the
can.
ponies rejoice too. They were like,
I'm not gonna lie, man. It was actually a breath of fresh air hearing the developers say that, because people sit up here and say, "Oh man, this console war thing sucks." I mean, do I really wish people live their life by the console war? No, but the fact that the developer came out here and said that we're foot soldiers in this war and we're on the front lines of this console war, I was like, so the console wars matter now, right? That's the word I'll be asking everybody. Does it matter now?
As long as they keep that competitive nature, that's all I care about.
Yeah, if it's like that, and I'm sure they're talking about it in terms of, you know, we want to be the best. We want to be.
That's what they said in the
article. It's not like what these dickheads are doing on Twitter every day, you know. Because I mean, those people actually have something in the game. You know what I'm saying? They're like their livelihoods. They're they're putting something out there. You know, people sitting on Twitter every day screaming about, you know, which console is the best. That's
you got no skin in that game.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm working for one of these devs, oh yeah, you better believe I'm like, yo, we about to crush you.
Right.
Yeah. You know? But at the end of the day, I'll see you at E3. We're gonna get some drinks and we're gonna talk shit to each other. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, that's how it should be.
I heard about that. Like I heard, like, you know, the Nintendo top guys and Phil Spencer, they meet and eat dinner. These guys aren't, they're not, you know, sending each other text messages back and forth. It's like I heard that Wolfenstein 2 was some dog shit on your Switch, chunk. Like they don't do that, although that would be funny. But they don't do stuff like that. You know, that's just, you know,
these guys actually like talk to each other about, hey, you know, helping like problem solving. Like, how do I figure this? I'm trying to figure this. You know, they go back and forth.
It reminds me of like old football coaches. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
they still super competitive, but you know, at the end of the day, they all cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now the Sony back compat stuff, like I don't know how if you're gonna see PS3, PS2, PS1, et cetera, right? But I definitely think you can still see PS4 because if that's one of those things that hey, we're gonna at least deliver that still gives them a little breathing room. And like people don't have to be at them if you can take your PS4 library with you to PS5. But I don't think they're at all buying into that backwards forwards compatible because I think they look at it like we can't crush and dominate with what looks great and what is awesome if we're trying to worry about what the old system can do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why
we have these studios. They put out fire. You want that fire? Come for the ride.
Well, that's why I kind of hope that I know Microsoft is doing the forward and backwards thing. I kind of hope they only leave it to the Xbox One X when it goes to backwards, though.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Because you almost have to get to a point where you just like just like with iPhones and like eventually we can't rock with it anymore. We gotta go.
We can't update you no more, man. You got to I mean, it's the funny thing. They did it with a game already. It's funny. Every time I see a Minecraft tweet come out, they say, hey, get the new Aquatica update on these platforms. And the only one missing is Sony because they don't want to play with them on that front. So
that's competitive though.
but that's legit though. They came out a year ago and said if they don't join the Play Together revolution, that the PlayStation platform will not get updates for the game anymore. Hey. And that's what's going on right now. And I just hope Microsoft uses that same mantra when it comes to, hey, I love people that got regular Xboxes. I love if you got an Xbox One S, but in 2 years, Xbox One X's are going to probably be $200 less than they are now. And you can take that system you got now and trade in and get a better system. So we can all play games better on the new system if we do get it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You think it's some way that could still hamper them? Like trying to still, even though, if you have this next gen console that,
It comes down to the games, honestly.
Yeah, right? I mean, you see it with PUBG. You know what I mean? Like, someone who's playing on the S and someone who's playing on the X, you got a totally different experience.
That's true. You
can tell who's not playing on one X.
Oh, dude, you haven't even loaded in yet.
That's what he was saying on ILP, man. He was like, I could tell who's playing on the S.
Yeah,
Lord, see things like that. Like, how much longer can they really rock out?
Right.
You know what I mean, putting all those games across that platform like that.
Yeah. And I know, I know they said that they want to be able, they don't want to leave people behind, but if they decide to pivot on that, I know people will be, console wars will throw that. Exactly. That gamers, the only time you have a long memory is if something hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get what you want and something changed and things move forward, you're like, I don't remember that happening. You get amnesia real fast.
When did that happen?
Yeah. They said that?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. That is true.
Hey, Xbox wouldn't be where it is if they didn't pivot. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Everybody pivots. You can say one thing, but you have to. Sometimes it just, hey, that's how we thought. How we were talking about before the show started. A roadmap 10 years out is not viable.
No.
Oh yeah, because I guarantee you that the Xbox One roadmap in 2013 was completely different than it is now.
You think they have it in the kitchen? You think they have it in the kitchen at Microsoft? Like, look at that.
Man, I don't even know. I don't even know if they even used that NFL multi-million-dollar licensing deal that they had in 2013 because they scrapped all that.
Do you remember that? How you were to get like player updates and stuff, and
all that stuff right through your TV. I don't remember seeing any of that.
Yeah, it was.
They used, as a matter of fact, I remember them using it for that first year because if you downloaded the NFL app, you were getting all of the live streams and stuff from all the shows. But then after that, you don't get it anymore.
You would follow players and get like updates on their stats that would pop up.
Yeah, I think I used it briefly for like fantasy, and at first I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." Then I was like, I just kept picking up my phone.
Just like I remember Snap being a really good thing, and then it wasn't.
I actually didn't mind that Snap thing. That was actually I could watch TV. I mean, the screen was a little small.
I was watching TV on there too.
Yeah, I was watching TV while playing the game.
Yeah, I like Snap. Snap was
cool, but the thing about, I mean, over time, it's like amnesia sets in. Like, how many people still talk about or think about Snap? I mean, we're talking about it now, but at first it was like, oh my God, I can't believe you get rid of Snap. And at first it hurts, it stings, but after a while it's like,
What about the guy? What about the guy that pulled up the Xbox guy over to God of War when he was playing it and posted it on Twitter and said, "Hey, look, I'm playing God of War on my Xbox One X," and everybody else was like, "How are you doing that?" And I was like, "Dude, it's the pass through for the PlayStation." People that just let you know how far Microsoft came from separating themselves from that second HDMI port because people don't even remember it.
That's too funny.
Yeah, at first it stings, but they're like, "Hey, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt at first."
Yeah,
but I tell you what, if Microsoft wants to avoid the way they started like this gen, next gen, they need to. Well, first they need to do some things that they really haven't been good at since they started the Xbox brand, which is actually making some inroads outside of the United States and not just inside. If you look at people always wonder, like, well, how did the PlayStation come back on them last gen? And then how are they so far ahead this gen? And it's just look at the countries that they sell in.
Yeah.
Xboxes is sold in half the number of countries that PlayStation is sold in. How can you keep up?
I mean, that just lets you know how remarkable it was during 360 for them to even be as close together as they were.
Exactly.
Sales.
Well, they dominated Microsoft.
Well, America.
North America. I mean, they
in North America, they 4-1 in America.
Yeah, and next gen, if they crush it in North America, they're still probably going to lose because they don't market at all in Europe, which is dumb. Europe is the second biggest market. You don't market there. It's the second biggest market in the world, and you don't market your platform there. That's stupid. And then they have no shot in Japan at all.
Yeah.
So, like, I actually think here's my idea. They need to buy Sega. And then tell Sega, you know what? Wait. Just tell Sega.
Not like this.
We're just take our system and put your name on it. And all your exclusives are on it, and you can just run it. This is now your platform in Japan.
Oh boy.
It would give Sega their chance to get back into the game. And Microsoft can keep their hands off of it because they obviously don't know how to market a system in Japan, but Sega does. Let them have it.
Enrique, it sounds like you got something you need to say.
I think that's a far. I mean, look. Here's the thing: Microsoft is a U.S. product, and they're just not going to sell well in Japan. Japanese are going to buy Japanese-made products, and that's
why I said you don't have Xbox on it at all.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, doesn't Japan have like that little clause that they can't be sold to outside of the territory of selling their properties?
You can't. Yeah, you can't. Like, American company would have a very hard time buying Sony.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. But I mean, I thought of that because back when I was in college, and I took a business class, and it was essentially a marketing class, and it was the story.
How would you market the doll?
Huh?
Wow.
How would you market the doll?
Shut up, Enrique. Anyway, Nike.
We want to know. It's a question in the live chat.
No, it's not. I'm looking at the live chat. Nike had this issue in a country, and they didn't understand why none of their products was selling in this country.
Because they have little kids making their tennis shoes in other countries?
well, that's probably, but then that wasn't the issue. The issue was that in whatever language in that country, the word Nike turned out to be like a bad word, or it was like an insinuation of like devil or something like that. So they were like, wow, we didn't realize that it was like that. So they actually just changed their name in that country and they started selling. So that's all I was saying. Like, I mean, in Japan, they still know it's Microsoft. They can't like hide who they are. But if they had someone else that was Japanese running the platform, then maybe, they could actually make some money there. But regardless. If it's Xbox, it's not selling there.
No, it's not. It's never going to sell. But you got to remember, the Japanese market, I mean, isn't as big as it used to be. And don't the Japanese buy more handhelds now than they do?
That's why the Switch
is on fire out there.
Yeah.
And they still sell Vitas out there brand new.
Yeah.
Are they still the third biggest market in the world? I think so.
I mean, gaming market, but I think in terms of console, like home console,
Oh yeah,
it's they're not.
Ain't got no room for no console in them houses.
No.
Oh my god.
People have like changed, man. Like 80s, 90s. It was like we sit there with our EGM, like hearing about what was out.
Yeah, America was an afterthought
on it. Yeah,
everything was coming out in Japan first, and we were like kind of waiting for those games that were coming out in Japan to come out here.
Yeah, and they rock with mobile. Mobile is like huge.
Yeah,
I did just see Lunar 1462's question. He said it feels like Nintendo is full of indies. I just saw another YouTube video earlier today by, I think it was, who's the girl that just left IGN?
Alana Pierce.
Yeah, Alana Pierce. And she was saying that Nintendo was trying to drop like 30 indie games a week.
That's insane.
It's about to be bloated in there, bro. It's already crazy to find games.
That's great. That's great that they have like content, like a lot of content to pick from, but the problem is, how do you manage that content?
Exactly.
And how do you prevent it? How do you prevent maybe some good indie games from being buried by all these releases?
Yeah. It's going to become like how Steam is, where it's just so many games that you may have self-published your game, but it gets no notoriety on the platform because there's so many other indies that are on there. And then how do you, where's the quality control? It's 30 games a week. How do you make sure the game works?
You gotta be careful about like curating that too, because like Forte just said, you already kind of have a hard time right now, like when you go on there just trying to figure out like what's worth, like picking up what's worth playing.
Yeah.
And the Vita kind of ran into that. Like just like a barrage of like titles that were thrown on there. And unless somebody kind of like put you on, or you kind of knew what you were looking for, some of that stuff might have been some good stuff, but some of the stuff you might have just overlooked because you just didn't know anything about it,
Yeah.
But 40 a week, whew.
That's a lot. That's a lot of games. Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah. It's like, how do you manage all that?
Yeah.
And she did one example that was, and I agree with her, that's kind of embarrassing. So she went into the Switch store, and then she went to search, and she said she was going to search for Mario. So she put in MAR, and she would think on the Nintendo platform that, oh, what is happening? Okay, all right.
I thought that was part of the video.
Yeah.
I was like, someone's about to do all the parts.
What am I looking at? She put in MAR.
Let's go Gaming Forte. Let him. Hold on a second.
You want to see what it is? It's Yoshi. He's agreeing with everything you're saying. My eShop is getting full of games.
Okay.
He's like,
I didn't know what you were doing to Yoshi. It looked a little different.
Yoshi. What? Oh my God! No penetration back here.
Oh,
Stop that! I don't know what you're talking about. He up a little too high, man.
Slow-mo don't has that.
Oh Lord! Hey, slow-mo. See, look, I'm a grown man, and I have a dial, and his name is Yoshi. So don't be ashamed to like literally embrace your younger side.
Negative, sir. You and Yoshi can have all the fun. But what I was saying was that she put in MAR thinking she was going to get Mario, and she ended up getting marijuana. Which is just like, what? It was like some indie game with marijuana in the title. And it was just, you got too many games. Too many just off the wall games. And it's going to get worse if they're doing 30 indies a week.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Oh, man. What you think about that, man?
I think that's a bit much. I mean,
I just don't know how you're gonna curate all those games.
Yeah,
You know, if you're gonna give me something priced at $30. Give me tiers: $30, $20, $10. You know, they got a bunch of cell phone games on there and stuff too, which is kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? But they gotta kind of feed the platform. You know what I mean? They don't really have that many big first party games coming out, and then like the third party output is basically slim to none. So they kind of got to rock with what they have. But I would much rather just give me like 10 releases a week or something like that. Hey, I mean,
so it's almost like they've gone from like one extreme to the other, man.
Yeah. I mean, they have, but I mean, I think they've been trying to fight the fight, man, to get people to bring big third party games to the platform. And even, you know, I mean, 2K said like they're not putting a WWE game on there this year. So that's, you know, one more big publisher, you know, that they just lost. You know what I mean? So
are they doing 2K19? They're not doing 2K19 this year?
No,
NBA?
They're NBA. They are, but they're not doing a WWE game. So
see, and that's the conversation that I know we had. It was a real big conversation we had on Scumcast last week. I applaud that move by 2K about WWE, because if the game is going to be trash, don't let that be associated with your game. Right. I don't blame Nintendo for having that issue, because they're going to bring any game they can to their platform. You know, people keep forgetting PS3. Skyrim ran terrible on PS3.
Skyrim, Bayonetta, all
those games ran terrible on PS3, and people didn't have a problem with those games still being on the system, and people didn't blame Sony for those games being terrible on the system. They looked at the developers and said, hey, you need to do better with bringing your games over here. And that's the whole reason I always tell people about the Switch. I'm like, hey, yeah, these games should be better, but I'm not going to blame Nintendo, because they're going to open up the doors for people to bring their games in, because they're starving for third-party support. Yeah. It's up to the third parties to say, hey, I don't care how many systems the Switch sells, our game won't work on this system, and we're just not going to bring it over. And I respect that more than bringing over a half-ass port.
Yeah. But what I would like to see, though, is that, you know, I mean, from a business standpoint, if you can recognize that Nintendo has something special, then similar to what Ubisoft did, I'd rather see more publishers do like a collaborative game where, like, you know what I mean, Ubisoft did wonders with that Mario plus Rabbids game. You know what I mean?
Dude, it was amazing.
That game was a hit. Like, it's
one of the two games I want on the Switch.
Right. You know what I mean? So I would rather see other publishers do that and come up with collaborative options, or just make a game that's exclusive to Switch. It doesn't have to be something like big budget. 2K could easily just make like a 2K Street game, or just put, you know what I mean, something smaller on the Switch, just so that platform, you know, has that. You know, why can't they make an arcade wrestling game? You know what I mean? Like they could do that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, think about like how dope like 3-on-3 like 2K game, like basketball game type would be, like a black top.
Right.
Yeah, like, you know, like the black top. What was that, from 2K16, 2K17, or is it still in all the games?
They have it now.
Yeah, like, you know, just call it that. Don't even call it like NBA 2K. Just say 2K presents, you know, NBA Blacktop, and it's just like like a story mode tournament type thing, you know.
Or they can go talk to Ice Cube and get the rights to actually have the 3-on-3, the big three on the game.
Yeah.
Those
I mean,
are legit NBA players, and get the license to actually put them in the game and make a 3-on-3 version of the game that way.
Yeah, right. I mean, think about how big that would be, like on the go, on your Switch. You know, it shouldn't be that taxing. And like B said, that's like a specific experience to that platform that makes it stand out. I think that'd be brilliant. You know?
That's the thing I like about the Switch the most, and I just like it has experiences that are only good on that platform, and that's why I typically only buy the games that really nurture and feed into that actual narrative, because when you start trying to get outside of that narrative, let's be honest, the system is dog crap when it comes to anything outside of that.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I have to be. Okay, let me do the other side of the argument for a second. So Nintendo always makes a platform where they're making a profit day one when the system comes out. Like they don't want the production and the distribution of that system to cost more than what the price of the system is. They want to make a profit off of that system without any game sold. Whereas Sony and Microsoft will initially at launch sell you a system that costs more to manufacture than the price, you know, that you pay, knowing that you're going to buy games and that hardware is going to age, and then later on, then they're making a profit. Then everything is gravy. Because Nintendo doesn't do that, their hardware isn't competitive. It's obsolete. And so you have these issues where now, you know, games that are on other platforms, you know, it would be awesome if the Switch could really run those games undocked.
Yeah.
You know, but the hardware can't handle it. And that's something that I still have to say, yeah, the developer didn't have to put that game on there and put that kind of game in that kind of state out. But I do have to say that Nintendo should have just made a more modern system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, and they're certainly going to have more challenges especially as the next gen consoles come. I mean, what does that mean for them for the third party support? As you know, developers, publishers start focusing on, you know, new PlayStation, Xbox hardware. You know, I'm interested to see the impact that might have on, you know, future support for the Switch. But I always thought,
I think that's where you see the big NVIDIA partnership come into play.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you see, you know, the next Switch or the new iteration Switch. You know what I mean? And they'll add a little bit more horsepower under the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and this would be the perfect opportunity for them to call it the Switch U.
The Switch. No, they'll just
the Wii U, which was a whole system that no one got.
They'll just follow the 3DS. They'll say the new Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. People be getting confused buying the old one, trying to get the new one.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I need to wrap up the show because I got to get to sleep. I got to get up early for work tomorrow. It sucks. I wish I could, you know, continue talking about the Switch. I think it's an interesting topic. You know, with regards to third-party support for Nintendo. So, but hey, Gaming Forte, man, it was a pleasure having you on. Thank you for coming on this evening and hanging out with us, man. We'll definitely have to get you back on again soon.
Oh, yeah, definitely appreciate it. Shout out to you guys. I always watch every week. Y'all make me laugh every week. And it's funny because there's a lot of competition around the time that you guys put y'all video, you start streaming. So, so the fact that I literally dropped those and I really listen to you guys because it's all about supporting the people that, you know, you really, you know, like talking to outside of just gaming itself. So I appreciate that.
No doubt, man. Yeah, we appreciate the support. Yeah. What'd you say, B-Money?
No, I said I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And like I said, we definitely got to get you back on as a guest sometime. Talk some more video games. And yeah, man. Hey, by the way, let everyone know for those on Twitter, you know, if they want to give you a follow, where they can find you at.
Cool. Well, it is at gaming_forte on Twitter. Also, you can hit me up on YouTube at Gaming Forte. We just crossed over 1,100 subscribers. So if you want to join the revolution over there and talk junk with gaming and not really be into all this console fanboy nonsense, come join up over there and see what we got to say.
Facts. He's got a very good channel. He does good videos. I give it the slow-mo stamp of approval.
Yeah, slow-mo comments on my video, so that's how I know he actually endorses them.
Slow-mo says yes. Nice, man. Awesome. Well, definitely, everyone listening, definitely check out Gaming Forte's channel. And hey, B-Money, Eric Jackson, Slow-Mo. Gentlemen, always a pleasure talking video games with you guys. And,
always.
Yeah, we gotta get online and do some gaming sometime soon, guys. Slow-Mo and I got to play some PUBG. I think it was like probably been 2 weeks though. I think since we last played.
Correction, Enrique carried me.
Nah, man, you did all right. You know what's funny is the last game we played, there was that shed. You're like, man, I don't know, Enrique. that buggy's parked. That looks suspect. I bet you someone's in that house. And I'm like, yeah, you might be right. So as soon as I open the door, I start shooting. And sure enough, there was a guy in there. We got killed though because there was like 3 other guys behind us.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was pretty great.
There was this one part, and we were like, so the circle's closing. It was getting smaller, and we were trying to get over the bridge. And I was like, I thought I saw someone out, like he was hiding in the rocks near the water. I was like, I thought I saw someone through the corner of my eye. He shoots me down. Enrique destroys this guy. But then another guy showed up in like a doom buggy. He destroyed him too. And I'm just like crawling on the ground, bleeding. Like, man. Watch your back. There's another one back there. I can see through the camera. And then he just pop. He just destroying everybody. I think only killed like one person. 3 matches. It was a lucky shot. I mean, it was no scope. It was like, wow, great shot. I was like, oh, he's dead.
Oh wow.
I didn't know I killed him, but it was like, it was fun. It was fun, if you want a chicken dinner, play with Enrique.
It was good times, man. It was good times.
Yeah, I gotta let me know when y'all were doing duels or squad.
Squad.
Yeah,
I gotta let me know when y'all playing, because that's the only reason I don't play PUBG, because I don't have a squad to run it with.
Yeah.
I'd say if the funniest person to play PUBG with.
King David.
Is King David.
Oh yeah, King David make everything fun.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have had some great, stories, great memories playing PUBG with him.
It sounds like that King David training paying off for you though, man.
Well, yeah, all right.
You're wrecking people, man. That's what's up.
I'm
killing everybody. I was like, yeah.
I'm like B Money in Destiny, man, putting in work.
Yeah, man.
Put that work in there.
Yeah, I need a little slow mo for the division, man. I just realized I'm still like level 18, bro.
That's what I've been playing lately, man. I've been going hard on the
I'm there with you, brother.
Oh, really, B? Man, y'all better look. Hit me up next time you're on. I will power level y'all. I will help y'all. I would tell y'all the best builds to get. You want to be 6-piece striker. That's like that's the meta right now. 6-piece striker, the best guns to use, the best shotguns to use. That's actually a little something I do. I'll hook y'all up.
Let's get in there.
Let me know.
Yeah, I might have to download it. Get back on, yeah.
Say again.
Yeah. I'm jumping tomorrow night.
Tomorrow. What was I doing tomorrow? Oh yeah, that's good. That's good because I'm actually helping a friend of mine who's trying to get her shield. In the Western Piers, we're gonna be killing bosses and any gear like you just jumping in the party with us and the kind of experience that we're gonna be wrecking people with. You will get power level good.
Right?
Yeah. Come and join us.
That's what's up, man. Hey, I think I just killed Roach. I've been running around which is this podcast, right? So me and Roach arrived at this ravine next to this lake. We couldn't go any further, so I jumped off, and Roach fell off the edge of the cliff into the lake and just disappeared. I think that's a wrap for Roach, man. Until I whistle for him again, he just show up out of the bushes.
Where's Roach? Yeah, all right.
Magical horse. No matter where you are, you whistle for Roach. He's like, here I am.
Roach will be there. Yeah.
Everybody go pick up that Octopath Traveler, man. That joint drops.
I'm picking it. I got it paid off already, brother.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to that.
I'm waiting for the reviews.
That is game number 2 that I like on the Switch. If I can get one more, I'll buy a Switch.
I think the reviews will come in solid, man.
I'm waiting for the reviews. So
I think we'd be somewhere around 80.
All right, yeah. If it's 80, I'll pick it up. Pick it up.
Yeah. See, slow mo. If you can help me power level on Division, because I'm at 176 on PC, and I'm like at level 23 on Xbox. So.
Okay. Yeah. Join too, man. I can help y'all finish your story missions. The best way to power level is to have someone else who's already high level. Like all my characters are over gear score 280 and higher. Like I got a couple that's at 290, and we go into World Tier 5. And whatever y'all trying to do, whatever activities you're trying to do, I'll give you all the loot that I get to pick up. We can do some legendary missions. It's guaranteed exotic loot off of that, and guaranteed classified gear set stuff. I'll just give it all to you guys.
Man,
so let me ask you something. What is that green, like light green like set or whatever.
The light green set, that sounds like, yeah, that's the that's a gear set.
That's a gear
So,
set, yeah.
Yeah, a gear set is like, say, like what I mentioned, Striker before. Initially, it was if you got 4 of the same type and 4 different armor slots, you would get like a additional talent. And so for Striker, the more you shoot accurately at an enemy, the damage stacks, and it gets higher and higher and higher until it gets to 100, and then it's just like everybody better get out the way because you wrecking everything.
Which is the
miss shots, then
which
it
one
starts to go down.
Which one of those was the gear set that helped you when you do damage, your teammates do more damage around you?
That was Hunter's Faith.
Hunter's Faith, that's what it was.
They switched Hunter's Faith up now, and now Hunter's Faith is more of a sniper set.
Yeah,
but it does great damage on. Like if you can get a headshot with 6-piece Hunter's Faith, somebody's just dead. Like it doesn't matter what your armor level was. It don't matter what how much stamina you had and how much toughness. You're dead. And that's, I mean, look, it's not one of the best gear sets, but there's about 13 different gear sets. They all do completely different things. Like Nomad, if you die, you get revived immediately, and then you get like I think it's a 4-minute cooldown before it can activate again. It gives you all this additional healing and refreshing your health as you're fighting. My favorite is Deadeye, because Deadeye only works with marksman rifles. And you have to be scoped in, but you get 100% critical hit damage off every shot. And when they first came out with that set, everybody was crying on this is too OP, man. I can't do it. Man, I was in the dark zone owning it. Like I had people running. It was great. I loved it. So I would just find a perk somewhere and just get the either the Model 700 or the one of the SVD rifles, where the fire rates real fast and just wreck people all over the place. Manhunt all day long. I loved it.
Yeah. Hey guys, I do need to wrap up, but yeah, we'll definitely have to run some division, man, for sure.
Yeah, I'll get with you tomorrow night, man.
Yeah,
just hit me up.
No doubt.
All right, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Again, thank you all for stopping in, and great to be back after a 2-week hiatus. Gaming Forte, thank you again. Remember, we are an affiliate of the Inner Circle Networks. Definitely check out their website. Drop the link below. Go to Tick for all your latest gaming related news and reviews. So don't forget to check them out as well. So we'll be back next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, everyone, enjoy the rest of the week. Have fun gaming. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.